So here we have the video that I promised you guys. It's all about the tragic sights and tragic homes of stars who died young and tragically. This includes some of the stars you're seeing right now that are parading across the screen. We filmed most of these shots in Beverly Hills and a couple of them in Hollywood. So I hope you enjoy the video, and please remember to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please remember to check my books out on Amazon. Thank you. Hi everybody, here we are at our first tragic house location. This is the former home of Lana Turner, screen goddess of the 40s and 50s. She was living at this house with Johnny Stompagnato, who was a gangster, and it was her boyfriend at the time, and her daughter Cheryl, who was 16, I believe, at the time, in 1958. Somehow on April 4th, 1958, Johnny Stompagnato ended up stabbed to death. And Cheryl took the rap for this crime, even though to this day people maintain that it was actually Lana Turner who stabbed him. We don't really know the answer to that question yet, but anyway, this is the house. It was built in the 1930s. It has approximately 6,000 square feet and is still a private residence today, and this is in the neighborhood of Beverly Hills. Go ahead and take a stroll around the neighborhood and show them the neighborhood. Okay, on to our next location. Hi everyone, here we are at our second tragic house location. This is the Carrollwood Drive home that Michael Jackson was renting at the time of his death in 2009. Right here in this house on June 24th, he took an overdose of propofol that was administered by his doctor. In order to sleep, he was getting ready for a big, huge This Is It tour, and a big tour, world tour, and a movie, and he needed to be in top condition, and he was not in top condition. He was very frail, underweight, and so he tried to take propofol to help him sleep, and that's what happened. He overdosed on the propofol, and he died at the age of 50 right here in this house, and they took his body out from this gate, I do believe, and to the morgue. And so the King of Pop was dead on June 24th, 2009. Hi everyone, here's our third location for our tragic houses story. This is the Lyle and Jose and Kitty Menendez home, where Lyle and Eric Menendez, their two sons, decided one day that they would kill them, shoot them in a very gruesome manner for their money. The attack took place in this house right here, and this was in 1989. The boys eventually went to prison. It was a sensational trial. The first trial, I think, ended in a hung jury, and the second trial ended in a solid conviction of the two boys, and they still remain in prison to this day for this murder. Jose Menendez was rather prominent in the entertainment field. He was a producer of films, and I think also, yeah, he was a producer and a distributor. Anyway, this is where that happened. Lyle and Jose and Kitty Menendez. Hi everyone, here we are at another one of our tragic homes locations. Pardon the ambulance. This is the home that Jean Harlow was living in at the time of her death in 1937 at the age of 26. She had rented this home. She did not own it. It's modest for Beverly Hills standard. It's not a mansion. I think it's less than 3,000 square feet. Really cute home, expensive now, probably well over $10 million, you know, in value right now. But this was where she was living. She lay dying of kidney failure due to a virus that she contracted when she was a teenager, and it just caught up with her. She was a pretty heavy drinker, which didn't help probably. And so here was where she lay. She was almost dead when they finally took her to the hospital on the evening of June 6th. And she died later that morning, the morning of June 7th, after falling into a coma. Many people blamed her mother, saying she was a Scientologist and she didn't believe in medical care, but she actually did have a doctor come throughout that time. It's just that really back in the day before kidney dialysis and all of that, there just wasn't much you could do for somebody with kidney disease and kidney failure. So anyway, that's where this took place. Poor Jean Harlow. Okay, here we are at another infamous, tragic Hollywood death location. This was where the body of Mineo was found stabbed to death on February 12th in 1976. He was 37 years old. Mineo was famous for 3 major films: Giant, Rebel Without a Cause, and all I can think of. Anyway, he was also famous for his Broadway and theater shows, and so he played Angel in Giant, and that's where he got, he became well known, but he's most famous for playing in Rebel Without a Cause with Natalie Wood and James Dean. So all three of those actors died young and died tragic. James Dean died in a car accident, Natalie Wood drowned, and Sal Mineo was found stabbed to death right here. And for 2 years his murder went unsolved, and I think 2 years later they finally put some man on trial and convicted him for the murder. But yeah, for 2 years this murder went unsolved and nobody really knew what happened, and it was a tragedy because he was just about to get back on his feet in the acting business, 37 years old, and this is where his body was found. All right, here we are at another tragic location for a star. We're talking now about Marie Prevost. She was a silent film star. She was a pretty big star back in the day. She went from being a Mack Sennett bathing beauty to starring in major roles in films in the 1920s. For some reason, she didn't make the crossover to talkies in the 1930s, and her career went to a steep decline, and she went from mansions in Beverly Hills to this apartment building here. When it was back in her time, it was called the Aftonian. Today it's called the Afton Place Apartments, but it's still pretty much the same as it was when she lived here. And on January 21st, 1937, her houseboy came in and found her lying unconscious on her bed, and he just thought she was passed out drunk because she had become a gone alcoholic by this time. So he simply cleaned up the apartment and left. And found out about 3 days later, due to the frantic barking of her Dachshund, Maxie, that when the apartment manager opened the door, that she was actually dead, and the dog had been nipping at her legs trying to get her to wake up. In Kenneth Anger's book, Hollywood Babylon, he says that the dog was actually snacking on her during this 3-day period, but many people have dispelled that rumor and said that was not true, that the dog was simply nipping at her legs. And if you see the photo of her dead body, she does have some damage to her legs, and it was either scratches from the dog scratching to try to wake her up, or it was from nips from him trying to wake her up. But according to most people, the dog wasn't actually snacking on her, but who knows? Really, we won't know that. We weren't there and we didn't see the body. But these apartment buildings are twins. I think many people refer to this as a dump, and I think it's totally a misnomer. These are beautiful apartments. I wouldn't have a problem living in these apartments if I was single at all. I think they're beautiful apartments. So anyway, this was where tragic Marie Prevost met her in 1937 at the age of 40. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video of tragic houses from Hollywood. We spent about one afternoon taking those videos. This guy is here. He's my wingman as usual. Anyway, in Beverly Hills. Most of them were in Beverly Hills, and one of them was in Hollywood, I think. And no, 2 of them were in Hollywood. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed them. We had a really good time filming them, and I'm going to be releasing more videos soon, including a video of locations for my novel, and I'm also going to do a Black Dahlia video. So stay tuned. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to check out my books on Amazon. I have 3 books: Tragic Hollywood, Beautiful, Glamorous, and Dead; Tragic Hollywood, Beautiful, Glamorous, and Still Dead; and my new novel, my noir novel, Goodbye Angel, Goodbye, When Dreams Aren't Enough. Those are all available on Amazon. Thank you. Talk to you guys later.